All right, so today is about the structural basis of acidity. So if you didn't run through the POGL, if you ran through the POGL, you'll have all this information. If you didn't, I'll need you to take notes on the structural basis of acidity from this presentation, if that's what you prefer. I did not make a set of Cornell notes for this presentation in Schoology, so again, you'll have to take hand notes if this is what you're doing. All right, so there are a few factors that affect the strength of an acid from a molecular standpoint. One of them is the polarity of the bond between the hydrogen that's being lost and whatever it's attached to, the strength of the bond between the hydrogen that's being lost and whatever it's being attached to, and the stability of the conjugate base of that particular acid. So let's check this out. So if we have an HX bond and it's polar, and that partial positive charge is located on the hydrogen, meaning it's less electronegative, then we go ahead and have that compound is an acid. For example, the HF bond. Okay, HF is an acid. Why? Because it's polar and the H side is partially positive, and so it's easy for us to lose that particular hydrogen atom. If the HX bond is polar but there's a partial negative charge on it, then that hydrogen is a base. So for example, in sodium hydride, this hydrogen is more electronegative, so this becomes partially negative, and so that means it's very easy for it to pick up another hydrogen ion, and so as a result of that, you end up with a base involved here. Okay, if the HX bond is nonpolar, then your substance is neutral. It is neither an acid or a base. So, for example, the carbon-hydrogen bond. Okay, the more polar it is, the stronger the acid or the base. So, the more polar, or the more the H has a partial positive charge, the stronger partial positive charge, the more acidic it is, the stronger the partial negative charge on it. In the opposite case, the stronger the base it would be. Okay, so that was polarity. Second thing that affects the strength is the bond strength itself. So again, the weaker the strength of the bond between the H and the X, the easier it is to lose that hydrogen that's sitting on the end, and so that's going to make it more acidic because, again, easier to lose or donate a hydrogen. The stronger that bond, the less acidic it's going to be because it's harder to lose or donate that H that's sitting on the end. And the last piece of this is that if we look at the conjugate base of our substance, if that conjugate base is more stable, then the substance happens to be more acidic. Okay? If it's less stable, it will be less acidic. And so this is how we talk about these things in terms of thermodynamics, right? If the conjugate is more stable, then the product is thermodynamically favorable. If the conjugate is less stable, then going to the product is less thermodynamically favored. All right, so when we analyze the strength of a binary acid, two substances together, we're going to use periodic trends to look at the bond strength and polarity. Okay, so again, if we talk about going down a group, we will see that the strength of that HX bond decreases as the size of X increases. And this is simply based on Coulomb's law, because if whatever it's attached to gets bigger and bigger and bigger, that means that you've got more distance between the H and the X. And so as a result of that, it gets easier and easier to remove that X. So again, as we go down a group, the acids get stronger because it gets easier and easier to remove that hydrogen from them just based on size. Across a period, polarity increases as we go from left to right. Okay, so this becomes more polar as we get towards this side of the periodic table. So that means our acidity is going to increase because, again, our partial positive charge on our hydrogen gets stronger and stronger and stronger, and that's going to make it easier for that to be removed. Okay, so thinking about this just for a second, why is hydrogen fluoride a weak acid then? Here it is, right? it's one of our weak acids. HCl is a strong acid. HBr is a strong acid. So in other words, as we think about this, why is HF a weak acid? Should be pretty simple, but think about it for a second. So of course, the idea here is that as we go to the right, we get more polar, so that's going to give us increasing acid strength. However, the distances between the atoms are still pretty small between the H and the F, and so as a result of that, that bond strength is still fairly strong. So because even though it has a high polarity, because of the strength of the bond, it's not quite strong enough to make it into a strong acid. But you will notice that 10 to the negative fourth is a fairly strong weak acid, much stronger than some of the other ones that we've seen along the way. Okay. Other thing to think about in terms of strengths of acids is strengths of oxyacids. Okay, and oxyacids, of course, are acids that have oxygen as part of the thing, so part of the negative ion. So we've got H, things like HNO3 would be an oxyacid because it's an acid with oxygen in the polyatomic negative ion. Okay, all right, so in terms of strengths of oxyacids, all right, in oxyacids, what you have is you have an OH group that is bonded to another atom, some kind of Y along the way. Okay, and the trends here is that the more electronegative Y is, the stronger the acid. Also, the more oxygen atoms bonded to the Y, the stronger the acid. All right, so those are our two main ideas. So why would that be? Well, imagine that we have our OH down here and we have whatever it's attached to there. So like in hypochlorous acid, this would be a Cl, this would be an O, and that would be an H. Okay, so if the Y here, if chlorine is very electronegative, it's going to suck electrons this way. If it sucks electrons that way, it gets easier and easier and easier to remove this hydrogen from it. And so as a result of that, that hydrogen will go, because it's that bond then becomes so polar between that O and the H because of the electrons being sucked towards the chlorine, that that hydrogen can pop off and become part of the hydronium ion. Okay. The second thing that happens is that the more oxygen atoms we have bonded to the Y, the stronger the acid. All right. And you'll see the reason for that is because oxygen itself is a fairly highly electronegative substance, right? So you have highly electronegative oxygen, so that makes it easier for the electrons that are here on the hydrogen to be pulled towards the oxygen. If you add something else that's very highly electronegative to that, that pull gets even stronger, which means that it's easier for that hydrogen to pull off. Okay, so now if we start adding more oxygens to this, so we've got an oxygen here that's already pulling electrons, we've got a chlorine that's pulling electrons, we've got an oxygen that's pulling electrons now attached to this chlorous acid, and so that gets even easier for that hydrogen to go off. If I add another oxygen to the chlorine ion, so there now we've got electrons pulling here, electrons pulling here, electrons pulling here, electrons pulling here. That's a whole lot of electron charge being pulled away from this hydrogen, making it easier to go away. And of course, if we add the fourth oxygen in perchloric acid, we're going to go ahead and we've got 3 oxygens here that are all pulling electrons away from that chlorine, which makes the chlorine pull even harder, oxygen pull even harder, and so you end up with a hydrogen that's extremely easy to leave. So as we add more oxygens to our oxyacids, it gets stronger and stronger acid because the pull of electrons away from the hydrogen gets stronger and stronger. All right, the last piece that we have here is to talk about the strength of carboxylic acids. Been a while since we talked about these, but again, carboxylic acids are substances that have a COOH group on the end of them. And so again, the structural formula for that, the Lewis dot diagram, looks like this. C double bonded O, bonded to an OH. Okay, and these tend to be stronger acids of the weak acids. Okay, why? Well, a few things here. First of all, you've got this oxygen atom up here on the top, and that it has a higher electronegativity than the carbon, so it pulls electrons in this direction. Okay, what's that going to do is it's also going to pull electrons overall away from the hydrogen. Okay, so what does that do? Well, it weakens this bond, making it easier to lose that hydrogen off the end. Okay, so in that sense, you end up with a slightly stronger weak acid. The other thing that happens here is once you lose that, you end up with your conjugate base looking like this. Well, that is a structure that has resonance. That double bond can be here or over there. And as we learned earlier this year, when you have a resonance structure, that's more stable. Okay, and so as a result of that, you've created a more stable conjugate base, which then once again creates higher acidity.